I used to binge watch anime all the time when I was younger, but I find it a lot harder now that I'm older with responsibilities. Starting a show is a real commitment, and I'm also someone who has to finish a show if I'm too far in. Earlier this year, I was hesitant to pick up Samurai Champloo, but I eventually got around to it. It mixed Edo Japan and hip-hop, two genres I would have never thought of fusing. The series has a defined style that makes it stand out even in today's anime space. Samurai Champloo was directed by Shinichiro Watanabe. He's well known for his work on the massively successful Cowboy Bebop. It was his follow-up series, releasing in 2004. Many of you may recognize this show for being part of Toonami's revival in 2016. Watanabe is known for taking musical genres and fusing them into his shows. He stated that his inspiration for Samurai Champloo came from the birth of hip-hop. The show juxtaposes its historical backdrop with hip-hop culture, making references to DJing, MCing, beatboxing, and even West Coast lowriders. I feel like I've talked about this before. The story is set in the Edo period of Japan, which was actually a time of peace under the rule of the shogun. The arts and culture flourished, while the need of a samurai class receded. This was also the final period of traditional Japan before it would open itself up to the West in 1854. The animation is fluid, with environments and character designs really reflecting the period. Episodes even point to several historical events, even if the show does skew them. I still give it bonus points for those references. Samurai Champloo follows the journey of Mugen, Jin, and Fu. Mugen is a violent and arrogant vagabond, with concern only over himself. Jin is a stoic ronin with traditional samurai values, and Fu is a naive waitress in search of a samurai who smells of sunflowers. The first episode is set at a tea shop, where we meet Fu. She's a waitress serving a place full of crooks, looking to cause trouble. When suddenly, Mugen steps into the shop. He asks Fu for water, but is denied unless he has money to make an order. Mugen offers
50 dumplings. Is it a deal?
Huh?
You feed me, and I'll take care of those guys for you.
But
what?
maybe for 20.
Are you kidding me? I'm not going one dumpling lower.
Hey, where's my tea?
She heads
Yes,
off
sir,
to
it's
serve a
coming
paying
right up.
customer when she trips and spills the tea over a man who turns out to be the governor's son. Pissed off, his fellow samurai friends pin her down and threaten to cut her finger off as atonement. In the meantime, Jean is watching a man on his knees plead to the aforementioned governor for his construction job. The man desperately offers his coin, but
You dare give me this?
I just...
Your spare change?
he then calls on his samurai to kill the man. Jean is ready to step in when he's stopped by a villager among the crowd. He warns him that the samurai are of an elite status that he can't handle. Cutting back to the tea shop,
100 dumplings!
and this gets Mugen to interfere. And this is where we get our first fight scene. There's a moral contrast between our two heroes. Mugen is eager to pick a fight with anyone for the thrill of it. Jean feels that he must stand up against the dishonorable actions of the trained samurai. Right from the start, it's established that these two aren't going to get along, but that dynamic is what keeps it interesting. Skipping later into the episode, Fu manages to recruit the two samurai as bodyguards and help her on the quest to find the sunflower samurai, which they reluctantly agree to after a coin toss decides it. The first episode is action-packed, with fluid animation and a soundtrack to back it up. It's a great appetizer for what the show has to offer. The episode is also available on YouTube for free, so if you're interested, it's there. The samurai fights are sick. They're well choreographed and exciting to watch. The battles are grounded, in the sense that there is no OP-ass powers. Mugen's fighting style is reactionary and takes influence from b-boying. Contrastly, Jean fights with more restraint in his traditional samurai style. The sound design is well done as well, Swooping swipes and clashing swords emphasize that one mistake can be fatal. I enjoy the liberal use of songs throughout the series. Combat scenes make use of several songs and don't stick with one battle theme. It's a nice breath of fresh air compared to other anime that use music in a clinical fashion. The start of a fight might trigger a lo-fi-esque beat or something more
Demonic.
The series takes an episodic approach. Each story is self-contained with little keeping them string together. New characters and premises are constantly introduced. It doesn't take itself too seriously, with several episodes having outlandish premises. It focuses in on just having fun more than anything. However, when it does decide to take a serious turn, it pulls it off successfully. The episodes that focus on our heroes' past humanizes them and makes their problems feel real. Other episodes take on more mature themes like purpose or loss. Mugen is a hot-tempered, loose cannon of the group. He has this I don't give a fuck attitude, which tends to get him into fights with authority. Born in the Ryukyu Islands, a place where prisoners are sent to be separated from the general population. He grew up on these islands as an outlaw before meeting Fu. We get to see a glimpse of his past in episode 13. The trio arrive at a beach where they meet Mugen's childhood friends, Koza and Mukuro. Koza reveals that the three grew up together in the Ryukyus and resorted to piracy to survive. The lawless land shaped Mugen to value survival above all. It's why there's such a difference in moral beliefs compared to someone like Jean. Mugen is a product of his environment, and it shows from his personality and his hatred for authority. Jean is on the other side of the coin, calm, reserved, and stoic. Orphaned at a young age, he was taken in by a dojo and trained by Inshiro Maria. He devoted himself to the teachings of the samurai and became the top student. It alienated him from his peers and pushed him to fully accept the Bushido code. He developed a close relationship to his master. It was until his death that Jean decided to leave the dojo. Jean is a ronin who upholds the samurai values, despite it phasing out. He's the samurai that doesn't see any lord fit to follow. And there's Fu, a naive 15-year-old girl looking for the samurai who smells of sunflowers. She was orphaned at a young age after her father left and her mother died. As you can guess, the Sunflower Samurai is her father. She wants revenge after he abandoned them in their time of need. Honestly, she's the weakest character of the group. She's obnoxious and plays damsel in distress for the first leg of the show. But as the journey progresses, we get to see more of her personality. She's an empathetic person willing to help others without reward, but her naivety tends to get her into problems. Fu's relationship with Jean and Mugen is like that of a sister. She's the glue that keeps the trio together. These characters may seem generic, but it's how they play off each other that keeps it entertaining. Sometimes they're cracking jokes, and other times are dead serious. They have defined personalities, and it shows through their mannerisms. Keep the show's dynamic fun and interesting. Mugen and Jean play the anti-heroes. They aren't always doing the right thing, and can be shitty towards people they meet, many times outright ignoring the problems of others. They fight for no one but themselves. I like this direction, because it keeps the show grounded in reality. Sort of. The gang is constantly traveling from village to village to find clues on the Sunflower Samurai. Despite it being the overarching plot, the series doesn't make an effort to even mention him, besides a handful of times. Each episode tells a self-contained story, so the show's focus then falls on the characters. For the most part, the side characters work well to hold interest in their mini-story. Some are more compelling, and others are outright annoying. Many of the people our gang meets say something along the lines of feeling trapped, there's no other way, or having no other choice. They are presented in different scenarios, because there are many ways people can be held down and so many ways it can play out. Regardless of what choice is taken, the show doesn't always moralize it. but through its resolutions, it makes it clear that those who don't take action end up losing. Meanwhile, those who do decide to make a stand are rewarded. I'm going to be discussing the ending, so skip here to avoid spoilers. Leading up to the show's climax, Fu realizes that their journey is coming to an end. She's feeling lost about what she will do after confronting her father. They've spent so much time on the road together that she wishes it would go on forever. Fu has found people who she can call friends. Each one has a dark past that has isolated them from their home. They can empathize with each other, strengthening the bond between them. She's having conflicting emotions on this goal she sought after for so long. It's a somber moment that really hit me in the feels. The finale has the trio at the end of their journey. Fu found the Sunflower Samurai, and now Mugen and Jean have fulfilled their promise. The story ends with each one going their separate way. It's a bittersweet ending seeing these characters you followed for so long split up. There's an attachment, and you want to see them go on more adventures together. They value their friendship, but they must continue walking their own path, but now with a newfound peace. Each one found the closure they were searching for, companionship. Through their travels, they've bonded and related more than they expected. Samurai Champloo's soundtrack is divided across 4 albums: Masta, Departure, Playlist, and Impression. Artists on the project include Nujabes, Fat John, Force of Nature, and Suchi. I'll be focusing on Departure because it's my favorite of the 4 records. It was produced by Fat John and the late Nujabes. The project comes up to 17 tracks with a runtime of 68 minutes. 8 of the tracks were produced by Nujabes, and Fat John worked on the remaining 9. It's a smooth blend of jazzy instrumentals, hip-hop, and electronica. For lack of a better word, this album is vibes. It's chill, serene, uplifting, ominous, and dark. My top 3 tracks on the album are Battle Cry, Aurorian Dance, and Chambers. Battle Cry is the opening track to Departure, and the show's opening. There's an immediate pulsing pad that gives it this hypnotic quality, like being mesmerized into a trance. The dreamy samples paired with the airy reverb create an oddly serene tone. Shangtu's verse poetically speaks on the path of the samurai. It fits with the surreal atmosphere of the track, and sets the mood for the rest of the album. Aurorian Dance, one of the more popular tracks on the album, captures the feeling of serenity. The soft piano and strings create this wavy, tranquil beat. Unlike Battle Cry, the atmosphere is bright, clear, and colorful. Here's a random sampling fact. Nujabes sampled The Lamp is Low by Lorindo Almeida, a Brazilian guitarist, but that's a cover of Mildred Bailey's The Lamp is Low, who is also known as the Queen of Swing. Shout out to this guy for the info. Like the other tracks, Chambers holds an air of mysticism. It clouds the listener in a thick fog. There is an uneasy feeling of fear of the unknown always present. The thumping kick drum paired with the synths creates a constant tension. Departure was a good chunk of why I enjoyed the show. It was my real introduction into this lo-fi chill-hop genre. I understand why it's recognized as a grandfather to lo-fi. The whole project makes me feel like I'm in a waiting room before entering the spirit world. It really resonated with me on a personal level, especially in a time where the world is in chaos. I highly value music as a source of enjoyment and therapy. This is one of those albums that will stick with me for a long time, alongside Bad Habits. The intimate nature of the project reflects many of the themes in the show. That's why it feels that much more heavy when putting context to it. The album may not resonate with you like it did for me, but I think there's something here for everyone. You can play it in the background, and it's a nice room groove. It's a good listen, especially if you're into lo-fi or jazz. Nujabes is recognized as a major pioneer of this chill-hop direction. His influence can be heard in today's lo-fi scene. Albums like Departure, Modal Soul, and the Lovesick series are great introductions into his discography. His collaborator, Fat John, also deserves immense props for his work on the album.
Samurai Champloo.
The gang is constantly broke, hungry, and just unlucky, but they never lose their rebellious spirit. Despite their hardships, they spit in the face of those against them. They have chosen to live their lives by their own choice and ignoring anyone who says otherwise. At the start of the journey, Gene and Mugen are constantly at each other's throats and even try to abandon food. They are both wanderers looking for a purpose that isn't satisfied by materialism. They struggle to let go of a past that has isolated them. But by the end of the show, they develop a deep respect for each other. They understand that they are more alike than they originally thought. Their companionship is enough to end their feud. Quote, I believe samurai in the Edo period and modern hip-hop artists have something in common. Rappers opened the way to their future with one microphone. Samurai decided their fate with one sword. Listen to these bongos! I enjoyed my time with Samurai Champloo, and I feel it deserves the praise it gets, but I don't think it's the masterpiece the internet says it is. My main gripe is that it takes an episodic approach, which allows for more premises if you're jamming the series into 26 episodes. On the other hand, it's more difficult for me to care about and introduce characters that will be in and out of the journey within an episode or two. Some make for great episodes, while others, no episode was outright boring, except for the diet episode, but I give it a pass. Some definitely lacked because of uninteresting characters or lack of cohesion. Even with weak side characters, mature themes are posed, like sexuality, morality, and societal struggles. I admire the attempt to talk on real human topics. Another gripe I have is that I wish it expanded more on our trio's backstory. That's not to say our characters are bad. I like them a lot. Even Fu. I just wish we got to see more on certain characters' background. You know, like Gene. Despite that, the moments where there is major development really shine through and are easily some of the most introspective moments. The show really comes together in the second half, where there are back-to-back banger episodes. There are compelling characters and constant action. When the show hits its high, god damn does it deliver. The final arc being one of the hypest moments. If I had to rate the series as a whole, I would give it a solid 8.
Banzai!
It's not a series I would recommend to everyone, but if anything I've mentioned interests you, then give it a watch. Well, if you guys enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe, comment on what you thought, and if you want to support me, you can donate to my Patreon. There's a video of me detailing my workflow process on making videos, so if you're interested in that, consider checking that out. But that's all I really have to say, and I'll see you guys in the next one. See you.